So welcome out to Superstition Mountain. Today we're going to talk you through how you can hit your irons like a tour pro using just this one simple drill. Now, Henry's hung out with me enough to know some of my ideas on how to swing a golf club, and I think we agree on most everything. Now, if you want to be able to strike your irons like a tour pro, some of the things that you need to have is you need to have the handle ahead of the head at impact, right? We call that shaft lean. And we also need our body to be kind of opening up so we're out of our own way, right? Now, most of you are going about doing that the wrong way. So, Henry, let's walk everybody through how we go about creating those dynamics.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, we're all trying to get that handle forward. We see Dustin Johnson, he's like out here, right? So, I should just drive the hands forward, right? Isn't that?
That's what everybody thinks, but what usually happens when somebody tries to do that?
Well, I mean, if you're kind of coming down the line here, you're pulling your hands forward and you're coming in really narrow, you got to get that club out of the ball somehow, right?
Yeah.
So we stall out, throw the club, and you get a whole slew of funny things happening.
And if you don't, you get shanks and slices and all kinds of issues.
Yep.
Okay, so let's walk through how do we actually create that dynamic? What are tour players doing that creates that dynamic?
Right, so, I mean, if you just go to impact, right, as you were showing before, the handle's a little forward. A lot of them have that left hip kind of backing out of the way, or the lead hip backing out of the way, right? Their head's kind of on the ball or just behind it, and there you go. Now, how do you get there, right? This right trail wrist
plays a pretty important role, right?
Right. If I throw this trail wrist, I'm not going to have any shaft lean. Look, the club's already past my hands.
Exactly.
Right. So instead, I maintain this angle as I begin to rotate out of the way.
Perfect. Now it's key that the angle we're actually trying to maintain is the extension of the trail wrist.
Right.
Most of you guys are trying to maintain the hinge up of the wrist, which is death.
Right.
So we want to feel like that wrist is back here like this, with the weight of the club's holding it back just like a ball does when we throw it, right?
Just like skipping a rock or throwing a ball.
Perfect. So let's walk through the drill that can help everybody learn how to feel that.
Right. And some people have probably seen this drill where you preset impact, right? So what I would do, instead of just driving the hands forward, for this impact drill, I'm going to back my left hip out of the way. My chest starts to open a little bit. Now I regrip, and I hit a little chip shot out there.
Perfect.
Now, the trail wrist, as I brought it back, extended, and I maintained it and rotated through.
Perfect. So that's the key. So we've got to get that trail wrist extended. Now, if the trail wrist is extended, is it possible to hit the ball without rotating through?
It's going to be really difficult.
I don't think you can. So I think that's kind of the key. If we get that trail wrist extended, then we have to start to use our lead side to turn ourselves out of the way, and we're going to get the rotation that we want.
Right, because everyone's trying to keep this radial, this more vertical hinge coming down, but look where that puts me.
You can't even hit the ball. Now
right.
You have to
and
dump
you're
it.
Definitely not rotating because the club's here. So you stall and you throw. If you have extension, club's more back here, and you can rotate, and you're not going to take a big divot either.
It can be shallow and hit that nice compressed ball flight. So let's do that again. Let's do a nice little small one.
Let me just show them one more time on this angle.
Okay.
So here's my impact. Again, I'm not just pushing the hands forward. I rotate, chest starts to open. Now I get the handle where we want it.
Okay. So do that again. Just a little chippy one. Perfect. So once you can do that, what do we do next?
So from there, once you feel comfortable with that shorter distance that I'm hitting it, I have a pitching wedge here. I'm only hitting it, 70, 80 yards?
Yep.
So once I get comfortable with that, now I just take a longer swing. I build it up a little bit.
So now we're going to turn it back a little farther and turn it through a little bit more, right?
Right. But I'm still going to preset here and then go back.
Perfect. Beautiful. And that's striking an iron like a tour pro.
So there you go. So build it up. You've probably seen some tour players do this drill, but key is the extension of the right wrist, and knowing to rotate once you have that.
Yep, those are the keys.
There you go.